So it takes some time to readjust to change. And as some of you know, who've been watching this video series that I'm currently putting together, my best friend, soulmate, just soul sister, passed away on the 11th of September, which is just almost 3 weeks ago now. And I was her main carer for a good time, a good moment. And so I'm completely starting again. I was doing some work from home with regards to the storytelling and book process that I do. And it's a very slow process. It's a very in the timing of other people. It could be down as a course that people complete over a 6 week period. But I think when you're telling your story and you're reflecting upon your life, it's very difficult to say to people, come on, you can do this in 6 weeks. And so I am a bit, I guess, probably relaxed about people completing their story at their pace. I'm also going to change that as well because I don't think that that's I don't think it's a great way to run a course. The best way to run a course is to consistently allow people to develop that spiritual discipline, but also as well to really help people to recognize that you are so important. You as an individual are so important. Your story being released energetically into the world from your perspective is so important. And now that my friend is in spirit, who I love dearly and who is with me more now than ever before, knowing her journey gives me the strength each day to know how important that this work is, that your story is so important. At her burial, I was able to read her passage of being an author and her reflection of her children, of the dreams and desires that she wanted for the future. And what's lovely is that I'm able to continue to carry that out. She was one of the people who really believed in this vision that I have. And probably, yes, the only person who really captured it all in a moment. And so the practical things of somebody making a transition, I'm juggling with the words losing somebody because we haven't lost anybody. We've gained that person. I mean, depending on what your beliefs are, I just believe that she's here. She's everywhere. And therefore I speak to her regularly, either in my mind or sometimes speak out aloud if I've dropped something and I have a giggle with her. Just, she's here. She's here with me. Her presence is here. So one of the biggest things is that when you are a carer, as I was a carer, I'd moved in with my friend, even though she was reluctant, but it was because she was so independent and so determined to live. And so I spent the last 12 months with her in her home and with the animals and just cared for her and cared for her home. Now that I'm back in the big wide world, it means that I start again. I start again. I start again from scratch in many ways. I have a roof over my head, I have food in my belly, I've got warmth, I've got all the basics. So now it's about accelerating. In 6 weeks, I'm giving myself a goal between 4 and 6 weeks to transform my financial resources because I was full time on care allowance, and that care allowance isn't a lot of money, as many of you know, and it doesn't necessarily cater for everything that you need. However, it was a breath for a moment, and now that care allowance will stop within 8 weeks. So there is a big pressure. Now, the reason for reflecting these videos is because I want to capture each moment as they unfold. I don't want to just go back and try and think about how I thought it was. I want to be able to record it as I'm going along because I really want to help to strengthen this movement of revolutionizing the way that we care. Revolution arise or evolution arising. Because the way that we care, from volunteering, care assistance, from in care homes, nursing assistants, teachers, social workers, chiropractitioners, healers. The way that we care is a real concern of mine, mainly because I believe that I know for myself that I cared more for others than I cared for myself, because that's just the nature of who I am. However, I know that I'm speaking to many people who feel the same. And so this is very much a training course for those people that just realize that self care is so important. It's vital. You can't give what you don't have. If you're a parent, if you're a child who's looking after your parents, if you're somebody who's caring for people because it's just what you love doing, that self care is really important. And over the last year, I've witnessed, and certainly towards the end of the healer's life, I witnessed carers that would come into her space whose energetics were not completely off. Energetically, were not vibing at a level for to be around people who are health compromised. And so my goal is to really, one, self-care, really put myself on the map, which means look at my needs and what I need. And in doing that, the intention is to be able to support you. That's somebody who could either be full-time caring, part-time caring, getting about to go into caring. Anybody who is in this field of care, this is vitally, vitally important. And it's something that I will drive home until my last moment, because I've witnessed so much over this past few months that I know that I can write a story. I know that I can write a book. I know that I can produce a film based on the importance of care. The Healer's book, first book, was Life After Self-Neglect. And self-neglect is something that we all do. We all do it as parents. I did it as a parent. I put my children first, or so I thought I was putting my children first. But what I was doing was putting them first, thinking I was putting them first, and neglecting myself in the process. So what I needed to do, which is what I've switched into doing now, is to look after self. Looking after self is not always, is not, that's the word, it's not important. It's massively important. It's not always noticeable what we actually do. So what happens is when we understand our energetics, when we understand that our energy will, if there is a lower vibration of energy, our energy, if it's a bit higher vibration, because we're vibrating at that higher density or higher vibration density, then what happens is we will lower our vibration to lift the vibration of the other person to help match that vibration. And so there's lots of different ways that we can raise vibration, and I can share more about those with you. Feel free to comment below if you want to know more information about how to raise your vibration. I will be doing more of that because I will be demonstrating how I'm doing that, because, you know, looking after somebody for a long time who has cancer, often my energies would dip very low to try and help to bring those energies up. But you need to top that energy up. You need to top it up. And so that's the purpose of doing these videos, is to help you as a carer to top up, regardless of what profession you're in around caring. This is going to be a very specific niche, and it is around care, but it doesn't just cover the profession of care. It includes humanity's connection with each other. That's my first video. I think I've done a second video actually, but I think this is the first video to welcome you to this journey. If you are on this journey with me, then you're watching this video. Please watch every video. Know that each video is loaded with lots of vibrational energy of love, complete love, pure love. And I just hope to share with you this journey of being able to create something either alongside what you're currently doing as a carer. I'll use that as a phrase, as a carer. And that includes yourself. So you run it alongside what you're currently doing, or run it instead of maybe the other compromises that you're making, not necessarily your caring role, but the other things that you're doing around that to try and juggle. So maybe you can use it as that. And if you're somebody who's just recently lost or recently had a loved one pass over, you haven't lost them. They are with you. Just know that over these next few weeks, this process is really about nurturing you into finding your identity again, in terms of becoming the best you. in terms of recreating or creating something that is so needed, that it's only when you're in this position, and it's a very fortunate position in many ways, it's only until you're in this position that you're able to see what is needed. And I was just privileged to be able to help empower a healer right until the last breath, because as a result of that, I was able to see what it's like, not just from being born, but actually taking that first breath, but to taking that last breath. And just knowing that journey, I obviously came here to experience. And now I'm in a fortunate position to be able to transform many lives and empower as many lives in the area that they need the most. I look forward to you being on this journey. I look forward to sharing this journey with you. Thank you for listening, and pop over to the next video. I'm going to be doing a budget planning video next.